Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar this morning with Mr. Dave Pimper. Dave is, of course, as you all know, the president of Lazarus Coaching, and he's going to join us here shortly. And we're going to talk about doing seminars around 401k and other qualified fund marketing. So always a good webinar, always well attended, a lot of interest right now. And so we're very happy to have you all aboard with us. As we get started here, a couple things I'll mention. I always get the question is, can I listen to this webinar later or can I see these slides? So we do record the webinars and you'll be able to enjoy that. You'll get a notice after the webinar that you can go ahead and download and have a look at the recording. I am recording our event today. If you have any questions, I want you to go ahead and type them in, hit send, and we'll get them asked and answered as quickly as we can. There'll be a couple of poll questions that will pop up during the course of the event. Appreciate you answering those as quickly as you can so that we can get back to the subject matter at hand. So again, looking forward to a great webinar here. As we get rolling, I wanted to run through a couple of things and make sure that you are all aware of a couple of things we do here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services. One of our most enjoyed programs is our new producer bonus. I'm looking at our attendees today, and I know we've got a lot of folks aboard that have been with us a while and already taken advantage of their new producer bonus, but some of you have not. New producer bonus is a very simple program. When you get aboard with us in the first 180 days, if you do business with us, you can qualify for one of three levels of reward, and the top level is the 500,000 point level, which corresponds dollar for dollar to annuity premium. That is particularly notable here today because at some point we're going to talk about doing seminars around 401ks. For those of you that haven't been in the seminar business or want to get jump started in the seminar business, we highly recommend that you look at what Dave is doing around the 401k seminar coaching and training, and we will make the training available to you, we'll make the seminar available to you, and we'll take care of your first mailing cost at that 500,000 point level. So the bottom line here on the new producer bonus is as you're getting rolling with us, make sure you're talking with your sales director here in the office to see at what point it makes sense for you to go ahead and take advantage of claiming your new producer bonus. We love to send those out and love to help you grow your business using those. And you can see most of those are built. We do some cash rewards, but most of those are built and to try and encourage ways to hopefully market and gain additional business around your particular practice. We just announced the location for this, so we're going to our 2018 Top Producers Escape. It's going to be here in the contiguous 48 because we needed to for DOL prep. We thought that was going to be part of the requirements. So to be prepared for that, we're going to stay here in the contiguous 48, and we're going to go to the Boulder Spa. If you've never heard of the Boulders, it's a beautiful resort spa. We've used it a few times for smaller events. We're going to use it for a large event for the first time ever. Really beautiful, nice setup there. Everybody kind of has their own personal casita. They've got a couple of championship level golf courses right on site. Really unusual and breathtaking environment. And of course, it's going to be a nice opportunity to get away from for a lot of us, the colder climes that we live in, and enjoy the Arizona desert in the late summer of 2018. So qualification continues through the end of this year. Plenty of time to qualify. Hopefully you all take advantage of that. It takes $2 million of annuity premium, 1.5 a single premium. You can see the rest of it there. Main thing to keep in mind is any business that you do with Insurance Agency Marketing Services is going to count and give you credit towards our Top Producers Escape. Creative services. So this, I just want to make sure that you're all aware, and you can read as well as I can walk you through it. So as you're looking at some of the services that we do there, I guess what I want to do is put in a little plug for what we can do to help you grow your business, whether it's branding, whether it's proactive marketing, whether it's helping you get some of those basic things set up in your business like website, Facebook. We've got a team of folks here in Omaha that can help you with that. And the advantage to you is, of course, we're not looking, that's not a profit center for us. That's a service center for us. So we're looking to do that at costs that are as reasonable as we can do them. And secondly, the advantage to you is, of course, these folks already know your business and already have a lot of the basics set up. So for those of you that may be considering looking at an outside agency to help you grow some of that, or talking to somebody about putting a website together for you, what I'm going to say is, use the internal marketing staff here. Let them show you what they can do and see if that doesn't present you with better opportunities. And we'll talk about marketing reimbursement here in a second, but that's a great way to pay for some of those as well. I wanted to make sure, too, that you're aware of some of the things that we do around email, newsletters, websites, client management tools, things like that. So we've got a quick slide here. Again, the bottom line is that we've got people on staff that can help you grow your business, make sure that you're getting your name out there to your clientele, helping to establish you a little bit on the internet in your area. And part of that might be newsletters. It might be having the right website. It might be sending out some hard newsletters. We can do that very economically for you as well. So there's a lot of things that we can do to help you grow your business, and I hope you'll take advantage of them. We've got a couple 2-day trainings coming up that we've already announced. We'll probably have 4 this year. Looking to do it, a couple in Des Moines, probably 1 here in Omaha, maybe go to Texas late in the year. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities for you to join us at one of our life and annuity academies. The key there with our academies is that we're bringing in top producers. We have 4 top producers that join us. We talk about seminars, make those available to you. We talk about different sales approaches. We talk about image building. We talk about a very specific product that can, hopefully you all can still see the screen. For some reason, mine went dark. Dave, are you with me? I'm hopeful that you all can see the screen. There we go. So hopefully we didn't lose that on your side. But bottom line is, on our academies, I'm going to try and switch back a slide here. It looks like it advanced on me as well. Bottom line is, our academies is that's by producers. 80% of the content is by producers and helping to kind of help you with your sales and marketing approaches. So really a very good event. The next one that's coming up is in mid-May, like 17th through the 19th. We do take care of your expenses associated with that, and I wanted to make sure that you were all aware of that. I'm going to probably, if I can, here we go, I'm going to put out a poll, and if you have interest in finding out more information about our academy, what I would like you to do with this poll coming up is hit yes. And so if you do hit yes, this is what will happen. You'll get from us a registration link and also a sample agenda so that you can look at the agenda. I don't want to say our agenda is always exactly the same, but the agenda that you'll see is from our last meeting. And pretty well most of that stuff, 95% of it, is about the same. There's obviously developments that change from time to time. For instance, what's happened with the DOL, there's been some changes there that you need to be aware of. But the bones of that meeting are pretty much the same. So you'll get a good look at the itinerary. Then you can say, look, this is something that during the course of 2017 I might want to take advantage of. If that's the case, then fill out the registration link, and all the registration link is letting us know that yes, you do have interest. When the opportunity comes along for you to join us at an academy, we'll give you a call and see if the timing fits for you. So if you have interest in being included among those that we talk to about that, simply hit yes on this poll and we'll get you out that information. One thing I'd say, and believe me, I understand if you want to come back, but if you've been at one of our academies in the last 18 months to 2 years, what I'd ask you to do is to hit no on that poll and then give me or someone in the marketing area a call. I understand that there are circumstances that may lead to you wanting to come back to an academy, but we do like to give folks that have not had the opportunity yet to come in. And again, we're going to take care of your travel. We'll take care of your hotel. It's usually the agenda works something like this: is it's a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, bring you in on Wednesday afternoon, have dinner, get right into talking yet that evening. Next morning we have breakfast. It's been pretty much the whole day. That's when we present the seminar opportunities and things like that. We'll talk a little bit of product. You'll see probably during the course of that first full day, you'll be in front of about 7 to 8 different speakers. We'll have dinner, then get up the next morning, go about a half a day, and then get you back to the airport, or if you're driving, get back to your vehicle and get you on the track back home. So that's the basic agenda of the meeting. If there's opportunity for us at that point, if you want to have a sit down with maybe somebody in our marketing department, we can arrange that as well, maybe in some of the free time. But that's the basic bones of that meeting, and we'd love to have you join us if you have not. And as I mentioned, if you have joined us and for some reason want to come back, give me a call and we'll see if we can't make that happen for you as well. So looks like almost everyone has voted, and I know just looking at our screen that some of you are not you're just able to listen and not able to participate in the voting. So for those of you that can't vote and maybe want to attend, if you would just give me a quick email, my email, and I'll give it to you a couple times during the event, but it's Steve, Steve, at IAMSINC.com. Just shoot me an email, let me know you have interest, would like to see the itinerary and a registration form, and I'll make sure that gets out to you. With that, I'm going to close that poll up. Thank you, by the way, for your quick and full participation. I appreciate that very much, and we'll get moving on here. Paperless system. So this is a really simple thing that we do here, and I just want to make sure that you're aware of it. For the folks that haven't been with us a while, we have got a paperless system. You fill out the basic questions that pertain to licensing paperwork once, and anytime you want to get appointed with a carrier, as long as you've got your updated E&O and your license in place, then you just go in there, click a button, it spits the paperwork out to us, and we take care of it all from there. So it keeps you from having to fill out the paperwork, the same information on multiple company paperwork over and over and over again, because we know that it just isn't a one company fits all, and you have sometimes need for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or a lot of different companies if you do a lot of different types of business. So we want to make that easy, and that's what that paperless system is all about. If you haven't looked at our website lately, I would definitely recommend that you go on there and have a look. We've done some upgrades on it. It is password protected now, by the way, so if you haven't established your username and passwords, you'll need to do that. You'll need to register first, but I recommend that you do that. We've done some nice upgrades and have a lot of great information available now on our website. Wanted to make sure, too, that you were all aware that over the past 15 months or so, we've been working diligently on getting IAMS Wealth set up. It's a RIA. Some of that we did really to be prepared or help our producers be prepared for the DOL, and that's still in play, obviously, but it's a good idea either way to have that opportunity available to our producers. Many of you that have worked in that area know that it helps your business on the annuity side as well to be have a little bit more well-rounded product offerings, and so we're big proponents of expanding the reach of the things that you can do for your client, especially in a world going forward where that may or may not be a little bit more required of you, as it certainly it may impede your business if you don't have the ability to offer products other than indexed annuities. What's been surprising to most of the guys that I've talked to about the wealth management side is how easy that can be for you, how basic it can work. You don't have to get real deep and be someone that manages their own business. What we have put together with IAMS Wealth Management is kind of a platform of various investment platforms that you can take advantage of, and you can become more of an asset gatherer and let the asset managers manage the assets for your clients according to their risk level, and make sure that you're meeting their requirements. So if you have an interest in maybe hearing a little bit more about the IAMS Wealth Management platform and what we're doing there, I'm going to just give you a chance here to do a quick yes or no for me on the poll. If it happens that is something that you're interested in, you hit yes on that poll question, we'll send you out a little basic information via email on IAMS Wealth Management. We'll put you in touch with Charles Heiring, and he can walk you through a little bit more of what we're doing on the wealth management side and see if that's not a fit for you. And we've been working with both folks that already have their IARs and Series 65s, and we've been working with folks that think that's a part of their business that they want to expand on and helping them through the process of getting that Series 65. So no matter what stage you are in that, I think you'll like what we have as far as options available. I think you'll like our technology platform, and I do believe you'll like our fee structure and our payout structures. We get really high marks from the folks that have joined us, and a relatively fast-growing pace on that IAMS Wealth Management RIA. So if you have interest in learning more about that, simply hit yes. We'll get you out a basic bit of information. After looking at that, if you want to talk a little bit more about it, by all means, we'll put you in touch with the experts here in-house, and if need be, we can put you in touch with actually some of the folks that handle the back end money management part of that. And we are going to have some meetings coming up here during the course of 2017. We've got one coming in April. We'll probably have one midsummer, early summer, probably have one late summer, and we'll probably have one in the fall where you can come and find out soup to nuts, everything that you ever wanted to know about our IAMS wealth management platform. So if you have interest in learning more about that, if you'd like to maybe join us for a meeting, simply hit yes on that. And it looks like you guys are and gals are way ahead of me as usual. We just have a few of you that have not voted there, so I'm going to go ahead and close that out again. For those of you that are unable to vote because you're just listening in, if you would, please just give me a quick email, steve@iamsinc.com, or you can call me at 800-255-5055. I'll get you out all the information that you need. And with that, I'm going to close that poll up as well. Keep this thing moving at a fast pace. Retirement Analyzer, if you're not familiar with that, I'm going to ask you to call Marcus in our office. So what we've been doing there, it's a great tool to help you gauge for your clients things like risk tolerance, helps them understand where they are in along their timeline of saving for retirement, where their shortfalls are going to be, where maybe they've overprepared if that's possible, how their risk tolerance matches up with their current investments and where they're at. It's a great tool. It's growing in terms of popularity, obviously, and really the simplicity of the product in terms of what our guys have been able to get communicated and help them communicate to their clients, coupled with the overall it really does. It's very comprehensive. So you've got a comprehensive look at someone's retirement situation and present it in a very simple way that is easy to communicate and easy for you to communicate to your clients and easy for them to understand. That's the beauty of the Retirement Analyzer. Right now, we're making that available at no cost to folks for a period of time so they can see if that's a good fit for them. So if that's of interest to you, call Marcus here in the office, or again, if you want to, you can just shoot me an email, let me know, and I'll let Marcus know you have interest. So a very strong little tool that you can take advantage of. A couple of programs, referred producer program, marketing reimbursement program. These are things that we do that for folks that do business with us. One is a referral program. When you refer somebody to us, there's an ongoing bonus that is paid for you. And I say it that way because it isn't part of their commission. It's paid out of IAMS. It's from us, and it's really an appreciation of bringing someone to the IAMS family. We've grown our business over the years via referrals. It's been a constant source of the growth of our company. And so over the last 6 or 7 years, we've been rewarding that via our RPM program. By far, they're the largest checks that we send out now to our producers, and we know a lot of them use that to grow their business. We consider that the biggest win that we have here at IAM. So we appreciate your referrals. We look forward to rewarding you for them. Marketing reimbursements is another program. Doesn't matter who you do business with IAMS, there's a little money that goes into your marketing reimbursement program. What that means is anything that you do to market to grow your business, you can request reimbursement from IAMS. We'll send you a check. Again, some of the best checks that we send out are marketing reimbursement checks. We love to do that.
Can you hear me, Steve?
I can.
Okay, wonderful.
I'm going to, Dave, I'm going to ask you to get started. I've got to reload something here. And so kind of walk people through the 401k opportunity, and I need to have our crew, just our technical crew, load up a different webinar. So you can start with your background and get them started. Give me just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thank you very much, everyone. My name is Dave Pimper, and I own the firm Lazarus Coaching Services, Inc., and Lazarus Coaching is a production coaching firm. It's nothing to do with sports. So what I do is I'm a producer just like you are in the field. Started in 1981 in the financial service arena, so 30 plus years in the financial arena, and for probably, I would say, over 20 years, maybe 25 years even, I've worked with people in some type of sales training or marketing, promotion, lead generation, sales process. And seminars, in fact, I've got a seminar tonight, a 401k IRA rollover seminar at a local brew and pub, a good eatery like called Laszlo's, and I got the same workshop off of the same mailing on Thursday night. And so what happens to myself, just to let you know, is that I do a lot of other marketing too. I do a daily radio program, a market report, advertising. I do radio, other ads in newspaper. But the big thing is that the majority of my new business is generated from seminars. Now, for seminars for everybody, of course, they're not. If you can't public speak, if you have trouble presenting yourself well in front of a group, no, it's not going to be your cup of tea. If there's absolutely no money to market, no, seminars are fairly expensive. That's going to be pretty rough also. But what happens here is that seminars drive appointments, which drive business. Tonight I've got 18 people. All of them, but one couple actually have been contacted. Yesterday we got a hold of them. So we might lose 2 people tonight, but we'll have 16 to 18 people there, and we have around 20 people coming on Thursday night. So if we can get anywhere over 35 or so folks, we know that we're most likely going to have 10 plus appointments, and from those appointments, especially around the subject of 401ks and IRA rollovers, we know that it's going to be very kind of specific in nature. I'm looking for that qualified rollover monies. So we're going to walk through our webinar here, and at the end, it is strictly up to yourself, but there's certainly no pressure. But I want you to mark yes or no. No, you don't have an interest in getting more information or talk to me, but yes, you are. And we can talk about seminar marketing, about 401k rollover seminar marketing in particular. We also have Social Security. We've got a financial planning workshop called eight Mistakes Retirees Make with Their Money. There's a lot of, and I do about 2/3 of my business dollar-wise comes from the security standpoint, and then about 25 or 30% comes in from the insurance side, which is really generated and geared around the fixed index annuity product, which I use as the guarantee. If you got questions, certainly type them on in. We'll be more than happy to go in and to help you with that. So I don't know if I've got the control, Steve, or whether you do, but I am going to start off here. So again, if there's any questions whatsoever, certainly come in and bring them up. So those are the actual slides. 401k IRA roll game plan. You can tell that they're professionally done. I put the material all together. IAMS went in with their really pretty incredible IT and advertising marketing unit, went in and did all of the information and the graphics around that. And this is also, if you are securities licensed, 6 or 7, it has been FINRA reviewed. So let's go in and see how much you really know about the 401k IRA rollover marketplace. So we're going to have 5 or 6 questions. I think 5 questions. I want you to go in and put the answer down and see if you know the answers to those, okay? All right. You make your initial Roth IRA contribution for the 2015 tax year on April 15th of 2016. How many years do you have to wait to withdraw all of your money out tax-free? So you're putting it in at the last day you can, which is April 15th of the year following, that's tax day, for the previous year. Okay, you can put up to $5,500 if you're over the age of 50, or 50 or over, you can put an extra $1,000, so $6,500. How much of it, how long do you have to wait for it to all be tax-free? Well, if you said 5 years, you're wrong, because it always reverts back to the first day of January. So all you have to wait is for the 5-year time period is 3 years and 8.5 months. That's interesting, isn't it? You know, so you would think that you'd have to go in and wait the full 5 years. Nope, only from, it all reverts back to January 1 of the year you're taking the Roth out for. Not many people know that. Second question, what type of trust do you have to establish for your IRA when your intent is to make sure the designated or the human beneficiaries within that trust are able to stretch it out, meaning they can inherit it on a stretch IRA. Okay? Any idea when you're establishing a trust of what that's called? It's called a see-through trust or a look-through trust. It's a type of a conduit trust. So if it isn't set up this way, if you want to use those beneficiaries and inherit those to stretch them out, you cannot do it. If it's just a basic living, like a living trust, or AB trust, it has to be a see-through or a look-through trust. Yeah. Now, what type of trust do you have to establish for your non-IRA? So say it's a non-IRA. Sell beneficiaries and you use that trust with an annuity when your intent is to make sure the designated human beneficiaries within the trust are able to stretch out the tax deferral on a non-IRA. How do you do that? Can't be done. Only the 5-year rule. Yeah, it can't be done. It's not an IRA. Kind of a trick question a little bit. 4, what does the designation of per stirpes mean, or what's it pertain to when you're talking about beneficiaries? Per stirpes, there's 2 types, per stirpes and per capita. Per capita means per head. Per stirpes means if there was a death, divorce, I mean it goes down through the bloodline. It goes to the children, mainly in death. Doesn't go to the in-law spouse. It goes down through the bloodline. Yeah. Okay. So see how you did on those. If you missed 2 or 3 or 4, yeah, you know what? Probably don't know quite as much about this topic as you thought. So potential, this is the first slide, potential rollover options for 401ks, 403bs, 457. So 401ks is a retirement plan for profit companies, most common. 403bs is not for profit, like hospitals and school systems. 457s are deferred comp plans for governments. They're really triplets, twins. They have some differences, but basically you're putting money away for retirement tax deferred. So when you roll over, and I'm not going to go through all of all the information on every slide, but I want to give you a good feeling of what we go through. So when we're out there, I said, you can do nothing. You could roll it over to a company plan. You could take a lump sum distribution and pay taxes on it, or may not, and we'll talk about that. Convert it to a Roth tax-free IRA. And I normally talk about the 5-year rule, but as we know, it could be the first contribution could be only 3 years, 8.5 months, and then roll it over, transfer to a traditional IRA. Now, not in the script, but with everyone on board today, how do we get compensated for giving great investment and financial advice? Normally by the fifth line, rolling over or transferring to a traditional IRA. Yeah. Okay. Now what I do is I go in on each one. I won't do every single one here, but I do nothing. So why would you want to leave it in your 401k? Well, first of all, will your current plan allow you to leave the money there? If it's too small, they might make you take it out. Normally, if it's 5,000 or larger, they will let you keep it in. If you do nothing with your investments, then they'll stay in your company plan. You're not probably going to go in unless you pay for it somehow. You're not going to get advice on what to do with that money. You have to make the decisions on your own. Why do most people or many people leave it with their existing plan? It's a bit because it's the easiest thing to do. So let's go into the next. Why leave your investments in your current 401k? Under the Department of Labor law, and I know that hasn't been in full effect yet, and I know that could be some the delaying of maybe up to 180 days with kind of the Trump effect. But I'll tell you, DOL, it's really the majority of the big firms are enacting DOL, whether it goes through or not. And what happens on this is that you might as well whether it goes through for as it is right now, or whether it goes in and gets delayed, or whether it goes in and it gets ruled down and a new one comes behind it. But fiduciary standards are going to be something that is here to stay. People are making changes now and abiding by it, just as if it's going to go through. So let me just tell you what they want is they want, when seminars, what the DOL wants is they want information that is balanced, not just sales one-sided, okay? So why would you want to leave it in your 401k plan? Let's talk about it. First of all, if you're 55 years or older and you leave your current employ where you were with your 401k plan, the money that you leave there, partial or all, you can take out without a 10% pre-59.5 penalty. That's pretty nice. Can't do it if you roll it over to an IRA, can you? So many times, the first day they got $300,000 in their 401k, and they say, yeah, we might be buying a car here for $40,000. Well, by the time you take taxes out, it's $65,000. We leave maybe $75,000 in the plan, so they can go in and take that money out without the 10% penalty. Anything you roll over, which is what we work with, if they're 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, up to a half, they have to pay a 10% penalty if they take money out pre-59.5. So that's a really great reason why. Only applies to distribution from the plan sponsored by the employer that you left. Yes. Other considerations, well, what's easier is when it goes in, it could be that in some states, creditor protection for ERISA does not cover IRAs. Even the DOL had a grab on IRAs. Don't know if that's legal or not, but ERISA really is company retirement plans, 401k, 403b, 457, etc. There's usually stronger protection. So if you're thinking about a bankruptcy or creditors or a lien, you know what? That 401k is in some states can be safer from those type of creditors. Now, in Nebraska, it doesn't make much difference, but in some states it might. Why would you leave it there? Just familiarity of choices. Hey, I've always worked with Vanguard. They've been good to me. I'm just going to leave it there. I mean, it may not be the best advice, but sometimes people get comfortable where they are. There could be lower fees or higher fees in your current plan, but sometimes because of the dollar amount in big plans, that fees very well may be lower. Okay? Just an easier choice. No decision be made now. And those are considerations for leaving it in your current plan. Another one that I actually touched with, and it may not be on those slides, I don't have all the slides here, but it talks about professional advice and professional help, because they certainly are not going to get it when they leave it in that 401k, especially if they're not with the company any longer, okay? So when they go in, they said, under my circumstances, what would you do? What does that person on the phone really know about their income, their expenses, their goals, aspiration, wishes, net worth, et cetera, their health? How Social Security comes and plays into a part? They don't know that. They can't give advice. And you know what? And now, you're not going to find any, after with DOL, you're not going to find anyone stepping out and giving advice because qualified money, because now all of a sudden you'd have to have a best interest contract exemption signed. All of a sudden now they could be the part of the right of action lawsuit and class action lawsuits. You're going to get whatever advice or information they're giving now, it'll be just the facts, ma'am, just like from the old Dragnet movie. Really opens us up to be able to do our job of being a really great financial counselor for those people. Any questions whatsoever, please let me know. So there's a second thing you can do. Roll your retirement funds to a new company retirement plan. Yeah, if they'll accept it. So you go from ConAgra over to Kellogg's, or you go from IBM on over to Microsoft, or you go from Pepsi over to Coke. Yeah, take all that money. Why? Well, first you have to ask the new company if they allow it. And if they do, yeah, then the benefits are the same types of things. Creditor protection, investment choices, fees, service and guidance. Yeah, service and guidance. So what happens is that you got to ask yourself, you know, I love it. Let's say that you can save 0.25% and keep it in the plan than taking it outside, or 0.5%. You know, if someone's helping you with guidance on that, or you put it in a fixed index annuity that has absolutely no internal cost whatsoever. It just has, let's say, if it's simple, it has a S&P point-to-point cap that limits your return, and it has 5, 7, 10 years worth of surrender charges. That's it. No internal fee. So you can legitimately say that there is a surrender charge, there is a cap, but you know what? There's no internal charges. Year after year after year, there's no internal charges. Now, if you have an income rider on it, that you will have an internal charge for the benefit of that lifetime income rider. But yeah, so you know, some people like about consolidating loans or consolidating funds, or maybe loan provisions. If you need to borrow from your money, can you borrow from an IRA? No, can't. Can't borrow from an IRA. Can you put your IRA up for collateral on something at the bank? Nope. Can't use a retirement plan like that for collateral. Can you go in and take a loan from your company plan, 401k, 403b, 457? If it's in the blueprint of the plan administrational document, if it's there, you can. I'm not in favor of borrowing your own money and paying you back interest, but it's available. If that's important to you, don't want to move your money out. Now, one of the things that sometimes people ask me is, Dave, why are you giving them reasons like loans? Heck, why are you giving them reasons to keep it in the plan? Because, you know, this seminar is not up there telling them all the bad things about 401ks and why they should move it into an IRA. It should be about what the options that they have and let them decide. What I'm trying to do is where they, after 40, 45 minutes, this is an hour presentation, not today, but in the actual workshop that I give tonight and on Thursday, it'll be an hour, give or take 5 minutes. But I want them to say, boy, Dave Pimper knows a lot about the retirement plan marketplace. Maybe we do need some help because I just retired and I'll have $400,000. It's a big decision for me. That's where most of my money is. I was just going to leave it there, or I was just going to move it over. Let's say it's Fidelity, and of course the IRA people have called and said, let's move it over to an IRA Fidelity. You know, they're trying to do that, yeah. But you know what? You want the appointment. Why you have a workshop or a seminar, I mean, they're the same thing. Why you have a seminar is to get an appointment, a face-to-face, belly-to-belly appointment over. In the old days, it was the kitchen table. Now it's either the kitchen table or it's at your office desk. That's why you do it. Okay. Any questions? And I took a little more time here in the very beginning slides. I'm going to go now, start going through more quickly. But also another option on the first one is take a lump sum distribution. Well, you know what? Let's say you have $200,000 that's in there. You take a lump sum distribution of $200,000 out. You're going to be taxed on top of your current income $200,000, aren't you? Pretty steep. That would just couldn't hardly be worthwhile. But what happens is that if you take out cash, the government's going to hold back 20%. Why? Because they don't believe that you're going to pay federal income taxes. State does, but not the government, not the federal government. So you're out that money. Now, you do have 60 days if you took it out to roll it back in, but you're going to be minus 20% of it. So 200,000, you know, you're going to go on in and be out 40,000 bucks. Only have 160. You got to come up with 40,000 out of your pocket, which not everybody can do. It's unbelievable how many employees still cash out of plans. Yeah. I mean, it's a tremendous amount of people. They just cash out, pay the taxes, and now they got their money. Now, there is one good reason to go in and cash out. It's called net unrealized appreciation. So what is NUA, net unrealized appreciation? I'm making this up now, but it's a good example because I had this exact example happen. Fellow had about $200,000 in his retirement plan. He'd worked there for 17 years. It was with Ameritrade, which is in Omaha, which I do a lot of business in Omaha. I'm 30 miles outside in Fremont, not a suburb, but a standalone town of about 30,000. So I'm working with this fellow from Ameritrade, has not been a client yet, named Tom, and he's been there for 17 years, and he's got quite a bit of Ameritrade in his plan. So those aren't the exact numbers. I'm doing this for simplicity's sake. But let's say he's got 100,000 of the 200s in Ameritrade stock, and the other 100,000 in just conventional mutual funds within the 401k plan. That 100,000 in Ameritrade stock, let's just say that he's got a cost basis on that stock of $25,000. Worth 100,000 of Ameritrade stock, got cost basis of 25,000. Okay? So it's highly appreciated because he owned it for years and years and years. Now, if he rolls everything over, say to an IRA or to a new company if he moves, but say it's to an IRA, every bit that he takes out of that will be taxed at ordinary income tax rates. Ordinary income tax rates. No preference whatsoever. But it's very interesting. You normally don't talk about cost basis in retirement plan, but if the money is outside of the qualified plan, then you do. So here's what happens with NUA. He has to roll everything by the end of the year. So you can't do half one year, half next year. So the fund side you roll, say the 100,000, that goes into your favorite annuity or your favorite managed money or your favorite investment. Then the other 100,000, 25,000 cost basis, 75,000 of gain in that Ameritrade stock. He takes the 25,000, transfers that into an individual account in his name, non-qualified, non-IRA. What's he pay for taxation on that? Yep. He pays full taxes on ordinary income tax on the 25,000. But what about the gain? What about the $75,000 worth of gain? Interesting. As long as he's held that stock for 1 year or longer, which most likely he has, that gain can go in and be so he can sell it at any time he wants to, but that gain is going to go in and be counted as a long-term capital gain. Not ordinary income tax, but long-term capital gain. So depending on when you do it, if you're in a low bracket, you might not pay any income tax on it. Might be the most 15% income tax, versus, as you know, with federal tax, especially if you're in a higher bracket, it could be a pretty big thing. So net unrealized appreciation, it depicts and separates of what is ordinary income tax of the initial amount of money going in, cost basis, and then what is gain can be at long-term capital gain rates. I do probably one a year, I would say. So it isn't something that comes up all the time, but when it does, it certainly is a neat thing called net unrealized appreciation. We have about 5 or 6. I used to use pay royalties to a fella or a one-time cost to an artist, but now I just use just slogans, or sayings or quotes. And this was from Henry Kiney. He says, experience is a good school, but the fees are high. And then I relate this to, if you make a mistake of rolling your money over, of missing a required minimum distribution, of this transfer instead of a rollover, you can do one per year of rollovers versus as many as you want with transfers, and then everything would be taxed if you do two. Yeah, the experience is good too, but the fees are high. Fees are extremely high when it comes to retirement planning. Okay, so I'm going to go through this pretty quickly now, but when you're coaching with me, there's 5 coaching sessions. Really, one is about the seminar itself, 1.5 maybe the seminar itself. Craig Jones in my office, also Amy is part-time in my office. So Craig does the majority of the help with my setting up the seminars itself, working with the mail house, who we've worked with for years and years and years. Our 800 number that takes all of our 800 calls. Also, I've been working with them for 10 or 11 years now. So I've done with a lot of different firms, but they've been extremely good. Roth, of course, is tax-free. And then here I go through, what is a Roth IRA? How does it work? The big things about a Roth is that, after we know it could be as late as the first year of 3.5 or 3 years, 8.5 months, but after 5 years, then no taxation on the gain. As long as you've got working income, you can be any age, different than a traditional IRA. There's no required minimum distribution amounts amongst husband and wife, only with children, and then they're tax-free. Most people, I take a raise of hands, where do you think federal brackets are going in the next 5 or 10 or 15 years, whether Republican or Democrat or independent are in the are in the office? Everyone thinks that rates are going higher, which would make Roths more advantageous. Yeah, so I talk about Roth. And then I talk about Roth conversions, taking a traditional IRA and converting it over. The nice thing about my slides is, from the FINRA review, we've gone in and we've basically, every single slide, like Roth conversion, I have probably 7, 8, 10 paragraphs on the slide itself of Roth conversion, of how Roth conversion works in my language. And then when we do actually the seminar coaching, if you have an interest there of giving seminars, then I've got about 30 attachments. I might have 2 or 3 articles on Roth conversions, the ins and outs of Roth conversions. Those are almost all articles that I've read either on the net or they're from Forbes or Wall Street or USA Today. Yeah, and you get those. So then when I shoot them out to you, you should copy them off, put them into a 3-ring notebook. But you can tell here, you get a lot of. What's important to me is that you really understand the subject when we're done. So when you get up there in front of people, and there's nothing like actually, being one-on-one and answering questions, but it's a multi-trillion-dollar marketplace. You certainly don't want to be left out, and by no means, because of DOL, qualified money's not going away. You know what? We have more suitability and more disclosure, but commissions are not going away. Meaning DOL, might want the fee base to be more of an input, but they certainly aren't doing away with commissions like England or Australia has done in the years past. Okay, so yeah, we talk about the conversions, and we talk about why a conversion, a Roth conversion, then how to recharacterize. It's called the OOPS rule. Do it over again. Got to be October the 15th of the next year is the deadline, but you can just redo it. Redo it because you don't have the money to pay taxes. Redo it because you got on the wrong side of bed that day. But the main reason why people redo it normally is if it happens to be in a security, and that security has gone down in value. Say 2 years ago when it was oil, maybe they had $100,000 worth of oil stocks or oil mutual funds, and went down 50% after they were going to Roth convert. Well, they got fixed taxes on $100,000. Well, as long as you wait 30 days or the first of the next year, whichever is later, and do it again, yeah. Well, all of a sudden now you're converting 50,000. Taxes are a lot less. So there's an oops rule, or do it over again rule too. We talk about. So how to move? Do you move your 401k to an IRA? We talk about indirect rollovers, direct rollovers. You know what? Indirect rollovers are a thing of the past. You should not do. If you can absolutely help it, don't do it. You don't want to get that check in hand for the client made out to him. I'm just telling you. They can only do one per year per all their IRAs. You can transfer, meaning it's made out to the custodian, as many times as you want to throughout the year, no problem. You know what? If you've got $100,000 and you have the check made out to you, and then you roll it over in 60 days, and 11 months later, within the year, you do another one for $1,000. You do 2 in 1 year. You know what happens? You have everything. 100,000 plus your 1,000, 101,000 is all taxable. Horrific. I mean, the rules are horrific. So we talk about, why do a direct rollover or a direct transfer? Then we talk about indirect rollovers, just like what we talked about. And we talk about direct rollover. So if you look at the slide before, this is talking about indirect rollovers, which we don't like. Now we talk about this. What direct rollovers do we like? Got no once per 12-month rollover rule. If it's coming out of a company retirement plan, there's no $20, 20% mandatory withholding tax. Yeah, there's all kinds of good things to directly transfer that over. Why do we do it? Well, we do it for continued tax deferral. Normally you go to an IRA because there's far more investment options. There's far fewer rules with IRAs than there is company plans because it's not under the Department of Labor ERISA rules. Not that we don't have to be perfectly honest, but there's just less rules to abide by. Could be difference in fees, consolidation, simplification, keeping it all in one place. Yeah. We talk about beneficiary options. Here are the 7. I talk about you could leave it blank, and then I talk about it. Name your estate or will. What's the good or bad? So, like I say, so we'll talk about when you name your estate or will. You know what? That could be a good thing, couldn't it? Well, sometimes it is, and you certainly want to leave. There's some things you want to go through probate, don't you? Yeah, like property. Yeah, your home, maybe a car, a possession. But if it's an investment or a financial strategy, do you really want it to go through probate? What happens when it goes through probate? Who's going to probate your will? Normally a lawyer. How does a lawyer get paid? By the minute. That's what I always say. And I might joke there and say, hey, how many lawyers do we have in here? Okay, then I won't say per minute. I'm going to say then per hour or per day. Yeah, billable hours, billable minutes. Yeah, why should you? Yeah, so if you say as per your will, you're guaranteeing it's going through probate. If you designate a heartbeat, an individual that bypasses probate. I keep it simple. I don't try to bill myself as having a lawyer background, no, or a CPA background. I know about some of the legal things with trusts and with beneficiaries, but I'm trying to keep it simple for the people that are out there. Children, yeah, many times children are the contingent beneficiary after the spouse. Your grandchildren, talk about inheriting an IRA. I talk about stretching an IRA. A charity, you don't ever want to use a Roth if you can help it, because up to $100,000 and you leave the charity is the beneficiary. The charity will get it without paying taxes, so it's already tax-free. So there is no help of it being double tax-free. Yeah. Or you could leave a trust, and here the trust is a beneficiary. Now it says in Henny Youngman, I've got all the money I'll ever need if I die by 4 o'clock. Yeah, I don't want that to happen to you. So let's talk about trusts. So and then I talk about, remember, you can't you can stretch the beneficiaries, but you can't stretch the beneficiary if the trust is named as the beneficiary. And then I talk about just designated separate account rule. Why naming an estate or will? Yeah, I touched some of the things that were touched upon before. Okay, how to title an inherited IRA. Here it is in red, John Doe Sr. IRA. Deceased when? Yes, April 3rd of 2015, for the benefit of his son, John Doe Jr., beneficiary. It needs to be set up something like that, and the date should be in there. You have to start taking on an inherited IRA. It can go off of your life expectancy, but what happens is that it has to be if you're the beneficiary by December the 31st of the year after the owner's death. Yeah. So how do you figure the RMD amount? Yeah, we go through that with the lifetime or single or joint tables. Naming a contingent beneficiary. Actually, on an inherited IRA, you can designate when you're still living of who you want to. You can have a pool of players of who's designated as the contingent beneficiary that year's they have to pick from, which you can do that before you die, which is pretty interesting. We talked about per capita. We talked about per stirpes. That's by bloodline or by head when it comes to beneficiaries. We talk about RMDs, required minimum distributions. Has to be done. So you're looking at December the 31st of the year before. Has to be taken out December the 31st of the year of. It's a specific a percentage amount. 3.65% is where it starts, and then it goes up in 4 years to 4%. And then the older you are, the more you have to take out. I talk a little bit about QLAC. I'm not a big believer of a QLAC, but it brings in a lot of information. Here's another one. Arthur Godfrey says, I'm proud to be paying taxes in the U.S. The only thing is, I could be just as proud with half the money. Okay. And people get a kick out of those. No big belly laughs, but in-service non-hardship withdrawal plans, I will do 2 or 3 a year or add to them. That's where you're usually 59 and a half at a retirement. Let's say it's a 401k, Valmont, which is a industrial commercial light poles and pivot irrigation system between Fremont and Valley, a small town east of here. I've been in business for about 60 years. Fidelity installed an in-service withdrawal plan. They're able to take money out at 59 and a half, a portion or all, and roll it into an IRA and still work there. So a lot of people don't know. We actually have an in-service non-hardship withdrawal seminar also that's available. So the 5 rules to know when working with an in-service withdrawal, yeah. Normally you have to be 59 and a half to participate. The money went directly to you, 20% would be taken out if it's to the custodian. That's not the case, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then, here's considering using IRA money and delaying Social Security. A lot of agents, producers don't understand Social Security, but it is something you should. We also do Social Security workshops, and that are my next 2 are going to be Social Security for my next 2 months. We have a big client event. Got 94 people coming right now to our client event in Omaha. So I have a client event in the summer and I have a client event in the winter. Very well attended. Always do business from those. We bring in an outside economist. This time of the summer we did a boat trip up the Missouri River. So delay for a lifetime or higher income. Yeah. So why would you maybe delay Social Security and take from your assets available? Well, it depends on how much you have, but when you can grow, basically 6% from 62 to 66 guaranteed, and COLA, and you can grow 8% guaranteed plus COLA from 66 to 70. Where can you get those types of guarantees? In any kind of investment or financial strategy or insurance, you cannot. Now, if they die early, they're not going to collect the benefit. If they live longer than 78, 9, or 80, yeah, they probably will, even as early as 74 or 5 if they're married, because there's a survivor benefit, a spousal benefit. So if you don't know Social Security, then you may not want to have this slide in your grouping of slides, but it does bring a lot of people in. Maybe 2 or 3 out of every 10, I would say. Okay? So if there's any questions whatsoever, certainly go in and certainly ask those, all right? Now, I tell people here there's a lot to think about, and as we're finishing on up, I basically go through this, and I talk about there's a big decisions to make now. I bring out a consultation sheet, and I said you mark yes. There's an hour consultation. There's no obligation. And then I go in, and here I say, I promised you. I say you leave your checkbook at home. The one thing I will do is I'll uncover one great financial piece of information and give you an answer before you leave. And then I ask questions. I mean, if you got a question about what are your best rollover options for your company retirement plan, you don't know that, you probably need to mark a yes and come in and see me. Could a Roth conversion benefit me? I've got a lot. I never say I'm an expert, but I say I have a lot of expertise within the Roth conversion universe. Can I complement, or how do I complement my Social Security, with my 401k? How can I maximize that? If you really don't understand that, you want to maybe mark yes on the consultation. Could different investment choices benefit me? They may. When it comes to beneficiaries, do you have the right ones? And my wife says that sometimes the second opinion is the very best opinion. So if you haven't had a second opinion from a true independent financial advisor, certainly mark yes on that. And then I leave here, and then here's how I always end it. Everybody knows who George Foreman is. Well, George Foreman made a lot of money in boxing, but you know where they made the majority of his money? You're right. And someone says the George Foreman grill. I said that's exactly right. So here's my kind of parting thoughts with you. If you don't have your name on a grill, then you probably need to mark yes and come in and talk to me. And everybody laughs and they clap maybe, and I hope that I get about half the people mark yes for an appointment. And that's the presentation. Now, that isn't all the slides, and I went through it a little quicker at the end, but I went a little slower in the beginning, kind of show you what it goes through. That takes an hour, about 1 hour, that presentation does. And we've got between 35 and 40 coming in the next 2 days. That'll give us probably 26 or so buying units. I think there are 27 buying units. And I hope to have 10 to 12 to 13 appointments. If I can do that, all things are good in life when it comes to production, because there's just no way I'm not going to get in front of 12, 13 people, the odds are very slim that I can't find a good financial plan and some good strategies to fit what they have to be able to work with them. And of course, from that, then I'm compensated for good advice and good investments in financial strategy. So I'm going to jump this over to Steve, and then Steve, you can kind of take it from there.
Dave, are you not going to tell them a little bit about your experience and expertise in seminar marketing?
Well, you know what? You've been telling me how I'm not as humble as I should be, so I'm going to let you do that.
Thank you, Dave. Well, of course, many of you have had some experience with Dave. I noticed that of the crew aboard, we probably had about 15, 18 people that have done some coaching with Dave on the seminar level. And we've got a lot of questions, Dave, and some of those have to do with some of the numbers and what seminars work best. So if you can you stay on for a few minutes with us?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, good. Yeah, so we'll try and run through that. But as you can see on the slide before you right now, Dave has got a great amount of experience in seminar marketing. What he doesn't talk too much about here is what he's been doing for us on the coaching side. So I think that combination of somebody that's got a lot of experience in the seminar business and then somebody with Dave's ability to communicate and to kind of coach producers at the mid-level and even top-level producers and get them up to speed on different concepts, and in this case on seminars, has been really a great benefit to IAMS over the past 10 years, 11 years now that he's been doing it with us. So it's been a great partnership. Many of you that have coached with Dave in the past know that and have experienced the benefit of that. Coaching around the seminars, specifically 401k seminars, Dave's been doing that now for, probably 6 months, Dave?
Yeah, that's about right. I'd say 6 or 8 months. Yeah, I mean, time kind of flies, but I would say between 6 months and a year. Yep.
Okay. And then over the last 3 years, he's been coaching a lot on Social Security seminars, and I know there's a couple questions about that a little bit here, so we'll get those answered. And then before that, for about 5 or 6 years, he was coaching on retirement mistakes. Every one of those seminar systems has enjoyed a lot of success with their guys, and I really attribute it to, seminars are great, and it's good to have a good seminar, and you got to have the right approach and all that, but it's good to make sure that you're hitting everything, as Dave says, from A to Z or from soup to nuts. You've got to hit every point, and you need that one-on-one coaching to do that. So I'm a big proponent of coaching. I think if you're going to have a coach, it's best to have a good one, and Dave is among the best that I know of. So we'll handle some questions here while we're answering questions, because I can put this poll up and then we can answer questions as we go as well. So if you want information on coaching, what I want you to do is check yes, and then what will happen from that point is that one of his assistants, either Craig or Amy, will give you a call and set up a phone appointment between you and Dave, and then you can determine whether that's a good fit. We do scholarships for Dave's coaching around seminars, so we pay the better part of the expense. The total expense is like $1,500-$1,600, as I remember, and we pay that down to I think it's less than $400 or $500 to get coaching with Dave around one of his seminar opportunities. So pretty solid benefit to being part of the IAMS family, to be able to get access to, I think, one of the country's best coaches around the financial services, and specifically around the indexed and the fixed and indexed annuity product sales. So hopefully you'll take advantage of that. Now, if we can, what I'd like to do is throw a couple questions out. And Dave, so one of the first questions, and I can't read the person's whole name, I'm going to guess it's Anthony, is what seminars that you do draw the most interest? So evidently Anthony is familiar that you do Social Security, retirement mistakes, now 401k seminars. Which ones have the best draw for you, and then which ones result in which would you consider the most profitable seminars? I know that's putting you on the spot a little bit, but what's been your experience?
Yeah, I would say that Social Security has the most interest. We get the most people. I would say that we don't have as many people come for 401k, but the dollar amount that we're working with a lot of rollover money. And when you work with rollover money, it's someone who worked for 30, 40 years, and they've got $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 plus dollars that they're rolling over. And so I would say, Social Security has the most interest, and I would say that, but it's the hardest subject too. Most agents, most producers know something about the rollover marketplace, IRAs, Roth, RMDs, etc., but a lot of them don't really have a great background on Social Security. So what they're doing is they're learning the Social Security, and they're going in and they are also learning about seminar marketing. I was just talking to you about Mr. V, Steve, where he booked up within about 5 days or 4 days. He calls me and he says, I got the perfect place with a seminar room and everything, but he said the maximum we can put in this room is 20. And I told him, boy, I said, you know what, that if it would be exactly 20 and 20, maybe that's okay, but you know what? And he said, we don't have a very good response because I think he's in California or Florida, but he's in one of the big states, Florida, yeah. He said, there's lots of seminars around here. I said, are there a lot with 401k IRA rollovers? He goes, there's not. He said, I got Social Security, I've got financial planning, I've got income planning. And I said, well, you know what? I said, if we get 40 people, that would be pretty happy. I mean, he had an overflow going, I think it was 3 or 4 days. So pretty incredible. I mean, it doesn't always like that. So, but I will tell you this is, if you're not swinging, you're not hitting. And to swing in this business is to go out there and put you out in front. And Steve, I just had a conversation with you. I know it was in the last week, but I was telling you I had a pretty good roll going. I think I'd written a major piece of business in 6 of my last 7 weeks. And you said, what do you attribute that to? And it's funny because by far the majority, one was through a referral, but they went to a seminar. And then one was actually from another advertising, but besides that, everything was seminar. Everything was seminar business, generating that new business. And there was, I think, one or two pieces of the business that was not directly related this time to the seminar, but they came about from a seminar. So I'm just telling you, seminars, I've done 433 or 34 seminars since the mid-'80s. And I've never stopped. And if you think, boy, that's a lot of seminars, Dave. Well, it's only about 13, 14 a year. I'm going to do 18 this year, 18 seminars. If you count my client events, I'll do 20. So, but we've proven those to be very effective way to go in and drive new business.
Well, and you're living proof yourself, what you've done with coaching with some of our guys on the seminar side, whether it's Social Security or retirement mistakes or 401k seminars. I mean, we've seen there just isn't a way to bigger success than seminars that I know of. There's a little bit of a learning curve, I think, that guys have to get around, and part of that learning curve is understanding that you got to keep plowing through. I know you haven't had perfect results at every seminar, but you continue to go forward with it. So I think that's where a lot of guys fail, and I think that's where coaching can help. Is your first one's going to be your worst one, your second one's going to be your second worst, your third's going to be your third worst, and you just got to get through that stuff. And
that's right.
Encouraging when you're putting out, because what's your average cost for a 401k seminar? What are you spending on average?
Well, a 401k is a mealed seminar. Social Security is a non-mealed seminar. It's strong enough on its own standing. You can pull them there just from the information without a meal. So if you go in and you're going to have somewhere between 3,000 and you're going to have somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 of mailing cost, and then normally between 500 and 1,000 of meals. So a meal seminar is going to run 4,000 to 5,000, and a non-meal seminar is going to run between 3,000 and say 3,500. So it isn't. It isn't for the faint at heart. It isn't for someone who just wants to throw a couple $100. This business is kind of is what you put into it is what you get out of it. Pretty much is what it is.
Yep. And I just did a quick calculation, and I think I probably have this number wrong, and I'll tell you why in a second. But at $3,500 per seminar, 435 seminars, you spent over $1.5 million on seminars. Does that sound right to you?
I got to catch my breath real quick. Here's what happens is that the people that I get in. Let's just figure this. This is how to do it. Is if I didn't spend back in the old days, postage was half of what it is now.
Yep.
But let's just say that I've averaged per mailing a 40. So you have 2 seminars out of each. So say you get 20 people on in, and then I've done 435 seminars. That's 8,700 people.
Mm-hmm.
And on those 8,700 people, I could go down, if I get 40 and it costs, say it's 4,000, then that's about $100 per person, not per appointment,
yep,
but per person. So if you take that times 100, now you're at 870,000. So
yep,
that sounds better than $1 million. That sounds better than $1 million to me. A lot of money I have, but you know what? Now and I've done much more. I know I've done way over $1 million when you figure all the. I've done, I do a daily radio commentary and market report. I advertise in the paper. I do newsletters. Just all this, there's a lot of different stuff that I do. But you know what? No doubt, no question about it, the one thing that has driven my new business, and I believe that new blood is the lifeline of any producer's business. It's the new business coming in. By far the majority of it comes from seminar marketing.
Yep.
Yeah. That sounds like a lot, Steve, but you know what happens is when you do it, it's kind of like how to eat an elephant.
Yep.
Bite by bite by bite. That's
yep,
how you do it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah.
Demographics. So I know your demographics for your 401k seminar are a little different than your Social Security. What demographics are you using for your 401k seminar right now?
Yeah, yes. I go from age of 50 to 68 or 50 to 70. So it's a little wider. I don't go down as far as that with Social Security. And some people start at 55, but I want to get the pre-retired and retired. And I'm trying to get that 50, 52. I had a real good, it was 200,000 some of a guy that just had a dormant 401k that I was able to work with. He's actually got 500,000 in his current. He's only 52 years of age. He's an engineer with the firm in Omaha. So they're coming to our client event. So, what happens is that normally with 401ks, depending, probably 55 to 70 or 55 to 68 or 52 to 58, I just kind of got to see of what it feels like within your. Well, we want the people who have the money to come to a workshop like this, and they have to have some years under their belt to get enough in IRAs and 401ks to be able to do that.
Yeah. So your average case size from your 401k seminars, probably 3 or 4 people have questions on that. And then are you mostly seeing couples at your seminars? I think that probably comes from your last comments regarding the cost per.
Okay. Well, first about the couple situation, we have more couples than we do singles, no doubt about it. I would say 2/3 couples and 1/3 singles are divorced from singles. And what was the other question, real quick?
Your average case size.
Yeah, it's bigger. It's bigger with the 401k. I would say if you took out, if you had 10 people doing business with you, or couples doing business with you, and you took out the very smallest and took out the very biggest, because it could be where someone just has 30, 40,000, they want to roll that. But and then there could be a big one, 400,000 or 500,000 plus. But I would say that, it's probably 250. I would say is the average size that I work with. Yeah, 250.
Okay, and
I would say with Social Security, it is certainly a little less than that.
You bet. I know we run over some of that was because of our technical difficulty, so I do apologize for that. We've doesn't often happen to us, but we had a little hiccup. So let's answer just one more question, or I guess a couple, because I can answer one real quick. So the question was about our new producer bonus, how that would work here. So basically, what we will do if at the 500,000 levels, we'll pay for your first mailing, which would cover 2 seminars. We'll pay for the coaching with Dave, which also gets you the seminar and the point-by-point coaching. Dave, did you walk through what you guys do for a seminar because you guys do you do everything from A to Z as far as helping to help them find the right spot, getting them the coaching on the slide by slide, getting the mailing set up for them. You guys pretty much do everything through that process, do you not?
We do. We handle them through. Just remember, Craig and Amy, they're great. Craig in particular is full time and does more. He does about 25% of his businesses with Lazarus coaching, with the seminars and with the marketing that we help with and coach with. So yeah, he sets up the demographics with you. You can always bounce it off of me, but Craig knows it as well as I do inside and out. Sets it up with the 800 number, works with our mail house, with all the invitation, gets all the information. Yeah, it's a very it's a pretty well laid track, and doesn't guarantee success, but it certainly puts you on the success track, no doubt about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know, Terry may have joined late. So he asked the question, can we get access to the slides? So this particular presentation will be made available to you in a recorded version, Terry. In order to get the slides and Dave's coaching, of course, you would have to enter in an agreement with Dave to get the whole package. So Dave, I know you always like to end up with your procrastination slogan, so I'm going to close this poll out. If someone was not able to, and I know there's a few of you that are just listening, if you weren't able to, let me know that you have interest. If you would, just send me an email at steve@imzinc.com, and I will let Dave know and he'll get a telephone appointment set up with you. So thank you, by the way, for your quick responses on this particular poll, and I'm going to close that. We're going to page down one more, and we're going to let you, Dave, prohibit that.
Yeah, actually, as you're doing that, I'm just going to say one quick thing. Just from coaching I charge what I do is I charge $150 per each 45-minute session of coaching. So that's $750. That's how I get paid. I'm not in your hierarchy. I'm not in your override system. I get paid from coaching. You're the producer. I'm the coach. What happens is that IAMS goes in and they pay for the majority of that coaching. They actually pay, Steve, it's now $300 or $400 left. They pay for all but $195. So what happens on that is that of the $750, IAMS is paying $555 through a scholarship for you that they put into your name, and I charge you $195. It's very extremely reasonable, and they're subsidizing the majority of that cost. And the goal of this is, I mean, do you have to have every contract through IAMS? No. Would we like that? Of course we would. But you know what? We want to have some of this business run through IAMS and to kind of show you the service and the professionalism and just what they can do for you as far as getting, in front of enough leads, in front of enough qualified prospects. So I just wanted to touch base on that real quick. And this is the last slide on this, and I'll bring it up. You bet. I'll bring this up. I always laugh about this, but it says, procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. But you know what? Tomorrow never comes, does it? I have a men's guy room, fun room. It's a cigar room actually down the bottom in the basement of my house, and in there it says free beer tomorrow. Well, you know what? It's a pretty safe bet because tomorrow never comes. Don't let this happen to you. If you saw something today that you thought, hey, this, I need someone to help me. I need someone to kind of have that blueprint, and they can help me and handhold me. And everybody has coaches. The best athletes in the world have coaches. The best CEOs in the world have coaches. Yeah, you bet they do. So you know what? Why don't we in our business? Why don't we have coaches? Well, I've been coached before in our business. With a production coach. Yeah. So what happens is if we talk, I'm going to go in, and in that 20, 25 minutes that we talk, and there's no cost, no obligation to yourself, but I promise you, hopefully you'll leave that and you'll say that was worth talking to Dave Pimper for that short period of time. If it progresses, wonderful, and hope I can help you from there.
Thank you, Dave, and thank you all for your patience with us here today. Very much appreciated. Thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule. I know this lasted a little bit longer than we had hoped, but I think we've got some good information. I do see we have a lot of interest. So appreciate the fact that you join IAMS on our webinars. We'd love to help you any way that we can. You've got my email address, my 800 number, 800-255-5055. Let us know how we can help. That's what we're here for. Our goal is to help you be successful. When you're successful, we're successful. And what we have learned over the years of working with Dave is he can help you along the way and help you reach your goals. And that's the important thing here. So thank you for joining us today. Have a great finish to your sales week. Thank you, Dave, for your time as well. And we'll talk to everyone later.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.